don't know if you can hear the rain, but days like today, I'm glad I have the cover. I got the hole all cut out, and I got it mostly cleaned up. I need to clean it with solvents, with de-waxer and acetone, but I got all the sanding done, and hopefully it's in good shape and it should be ready to go. I'm going to build a T-shaped block to like a backer plate, and then I'm gonna use epoxy. Some people recommend it, some people recommend against it. Both of them are passionate that they're correct. I think the reason is because epoxy doesn't stick well to polyester, and I think that's true. And I do want a gel coat. Some people think I shouldn't have cut this deck. It is what it is. It was broken to begin with, so I didn't really have a choice to just leave it in place. And honestly, getting at it from underneath would have been, I would have had to cut the hull liner out. And the hull liner, it appears to be part of the structure. Let's see here. Kind of see there. This is the hull liner. And this is the deck, and then there's a piece of deck between the hull liner and the core. The core, some of it was rotted, some of it was not. Very little was rotted, so I'm just gonna lay a T-shaped piece on here, and it'll come back and lay on this spot here. I don't know if you can see my fingers. There we go. And it'll get epoxied into the side of the hull. So it's going to be attached to the hull and to the deck and to the hull liner and in a number of places. And it's also going to go underneath the toe rails, and it's going to get epoxied into the toe rails. So what I'm going to do, let's see here. I did cut out some of this, which was recommended by everybody I spoke to. Cut away a little bit so I can work more easily. And I did cut away some. I'm just going to go into that toe rail there. I'm going to go underneath it with this T, and then I'm going to put some tape on the end of my backer block, and I'm going to squeeze in thickened epoxy through a hole I drill in the toe rail. There's a spider or something. And I'm going to do the same thing on the other toe rail, forward, on the forward toe rail here. Let's see here. There's you can see, yeah, there's the toe rail there. And I've cleaned that out. I ground it out, sanded it, and then I'm gonna go ahead and get a degreaser or de-waxer, and also you can kind of see there's that bulkhead. So this repair is right after this bulkhead, and this bulkhead is where my chain plates mount. So it's like a tabbed in piece of plywood, and it's got epoxy or fiberglass on either side of it. You can see this is the tool I used for a lot of the grinding. One of the guys at the yard here told me that boat work, it's better to treat it like dental work than to treat it like home remodeling. And so I grind a little, cut a little, and then look, and then think, and then cut a little more. And I try to take my time before I cut, because once I've cut, then I gotta, make a joint to put it back in. So we'll see how it goes. Hopefully I don't end up doing this repair over. But the way I'm going to do it so far, I think I'm going to build a backer plate that's T-shaped. I'm going to build it out of this tape I have. It's 6-inch tape, and I'm going to cut it into the shape that I need. And I'm probably going to make a T, so I'm going to have to lay some fibers different ways. And I'm going to have to cut them out, but I think I'll just alternate layers, and then it'll be fine. And I'm going to lay it up with West Systems epoxy, which I've used before, which has worked out well. I did look at G10, but G10 is insanely expensive for a sheet to do what I'm trying to do. I would like a 1/2 inch thick piece, and G10 is going to be the cheapest one I could find that was 1/2 inch thick and was like, I want to say 2 foot by 2 foot or something like that, was like $400. It was insane. So I'm going to lay up what I need myself. And first I'm going to bake it out of cardboard. Then I'm going to make it out of plywood. And then I'm going to make the plywood fit exactly. And then I'm going to lay up what I need. And hopefully I can lay it up in the net shape so I don't have to cut it afterwards. Maybe I'll grind it a little bit if necessary. And then I'm going to epoxy it to the hull. I'm going to tab some places. I'm going to use thickened epoxy other places. I'm going to epoxy the crap out of it to the hull liner, and to the deck. And I have a scarf joint with the deck. Well, actually, I take it back. I'm not actually going to tie it into the deck at all until I start laying down layers of chop strand mat and cloth tape. And I'm going to lay that in again with epoxy. And I'm going to epoxy it to the deck and to the hull and to the deck. And I'm also, then after that, I'm going to put fairing compound on it. And I'm going to use epoxy fairing compound probably. I might use polyester fairing compound. But then that's where I need to make a switch. When I'm ready for gel coat, I need to use a primer. And that primer has to be special so that it can bond to both epoxy and have polyester bond to it after it's cured, although maybe it's a laminating, I'm not sure, and maybe I leave it uncured before I put gel coat on, I don't know. However, there is a product for this, Total Boat makes it, and I'm hoping that that's going to work for me. So if it doesn't work, I'll do it over. If it does work, I'll be done. And everything I've done so far, I haven't had to do over, and so hopefully this goes well too.